all gets in. Yeah, see who all gets in here.
Yeah.
I've actually got one of your squirrel balls hanging up in the catch box.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I got it.
I got a whole bunch, all my gifted frames out here, or trade frame,
Yeah.
art trade plus my gifted frames, and the one that the TTF that Jose gave me, it was a wrap and tuck,
Huh?
and I tried to wrap and tuck it,
Yeah.
took about a half hour, and then after 3 shots, the band came off. I'm like, I am not a wrap and tuck guy, man. I should have had you give me a lesson while we were there, but it's too much going on.
Yeah, there was just so much going on, man. So
It's
much.
it's okay. I'll figure it out eventually. Next year, we'll set aside 15 minutes and you can teach me how you do it so good because I suck
Yeah.
at wrapping
I'm,
time. Just hey, point slot up, brother.
yeah, coin slot. What's up? There's
Zach,
Zach,
Stephen
Stephen
Fox,
Foster,
Leon.
Leon.
Yeah. Well, I'll show it again later, but I got my 100 millimeter custom Rougarou made by Tennessee. Well, I mean slanging. Oh yeah.
Brant, Hunter, Sean, what's going on? That thing turned out pretty sweet. I like that color. That was a good color choice by you there. I like that green and black.
Me too. And I think the more I shoot it, the less I think I need to wrap the handle. I just need to adjust the way I held it. You know what I mean? So now
Yeah.
that I'm figuring it out, it's pretty the hand now. I think I was just holding it wrong.
Yeah.
And I got you 100 millimeter Titan. This Titan 100, they call that, right?
Yep. 100 millimeter Titan Hunter. Yep.
Oh, I love this thing too, brother. It's one of them ones that I just picked it up and started it pretty good right away without figuring it out too much. I like it. And I got this one that was gifted a long time ago. Mikey and Chuckin passed this on to me from. I'm sorry, I didn't know the man who this belonged to. He passed away. Ethan. Like Cac. Who made this, Ethan? Who made
Give it
this?
1 second. It's still. I kind of glitched out for a second.
Okay.
I'm trying to. It's trying to come back. Daggum Tennessee Internet's go.
James Gonzalez. That's right. Yeah, I never knew the guy, but I heard he was awesome, and I regret never meeting him. But I got that out, and I got this one double D's gave me a little while back. Another natty he made. It's awesome. And sorry, I'm not reading. Taking shots. Hunter. Right? We don't know each other too well, but good to see you, brother. I'm really keeping up with the chat here. I'm sorry, but Chuck can get his Medusa taught me how to shoot high style tournament. That's cool. Jose gave me ETF frame. I can't remember the name. That's pretty sweet, but I just suck at wrap and tuck. So, can you hear me?
A tadpole.
Oh, tadpole. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah, tadpole.
I like the feel of it, but I just am the worst
Yeah.
tucker on the planet.
Uh,
But I tried it. I like it. When I figure it out, I'm gonna shoot it. Of course, I got my tournament frame, Jeezy Driver. Yeah, I don't even have it banded up. I'm not gonna. I've been 2 months straight. I'm sick of it. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Log hala. So can you hear me now?
It's coming in and out. I'm gonna move around again and see if I man. I figured first thing in the morning it would be all right, but goodness gracious, this is pitiful.
Can you hear me? All right, or am I glitchy to you? Mikey.
Mikey. All right, I think that cleared it up some.
Okay. If it doesn't work for a while, we can try to do it on my channel, but I don't know what I'm doing. So, with that,
Oh, you're all good. Maybe that cleared it up.
all right.
Robert,
Lone Wolf said I'm coming through clear. Thank you, Lone Wolf. Going worker.
slinging's fine, slanging ain't. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, Terry Sue's in the chat. She's gonna stop over for a second.
I was wondering if watching it while you're doing it is a problem.
I don't think so. It's Ethan connections, bud. Whatever.
Morning, everybody. Hello.
Hi, Terry.
this is ECST 2025 winner right here. I'm predicting a few.
That's right. That's right. She gonna do it.
Have a good day. Bye.
She's gonna do it. Have a good one.
So I don't know. What are you shooting today? You got my can crusher there?
I am shooting. I got the can crusher.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah,
Man,
this thing is sweet, man. I've enjoyed it a lot. It's got a great feel.
I tell you what, Ethan, if I like 90 millimeters, that would not be in your possession right now. Just say.
Well, it's just a good thing you don't like 90s, you know. It checks all the boxes, though. I mean, it grips good. My fingers are right up close to the top. It's thick. It's weighty. I mean, it's nice, really nice.
I love the feel of it in hand. For me, fit perfect. But I just shot a mile high with it, so it worked out.
Yeah, I understand that.
What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. This is just as badass in my opinion, right here. I don't know if they got. Oh no. Okay, you cut out.
All
But
right,
anyway,
we're back. Okay.
we traded. He built me. Ethan built me this 100 millimeter Rugeroo, baby. Look at that sweet thing. Mm. Yeah, I like this thing a lot, brother.
Well, I'm glad you do, man. I'm glad you do. Don't shoot at the catch box. What's going on, bub? I think he's talking about the Rougarou. Yeah. Mikey, you know that upsweep on that Wendigo, his little pinky would probably lock in perfectly on that little upsweep, you know. just the perfect little spot for it.
Either way, this is the source of all my powers right here.
That's where all of the slinging accuracy comes from. Said you're froze.
Am I still froze, guys? Let me know. I am an S. So frozen is kind of my jam.
There you go, Doctor Evil.
We're
Let
both
me ask you something. Those safety glasses you're wearing, did you get them from Pocket Predator?
sure did. Yeah, they are the
Yeah,
most
I
comfortable.
like those. Yeah, I have to wear them. I have to wear safety glasses at work, and I use them for there too because I love how I can, kind of tilt them and stuff like that and keep them off your face.
Yeah, these are adjustable in here, and they. I usually forget they're even on my face. They're so comfortable. Oh man, wish we had better internet connection.
I think he's free again. Are you there, Andy?
I'm here. I can hear you the whole time. You don't. You look.
That's crazy. See, it done this with ATO. I don't know what's going on. It's got to be my end because it done it with ATO as well, where like they could hear me just fine, and then it was just like glitchy sometimes. Service. I don't know what's going on.
What are you gonna do? This. You want to do a little shooting here?
Let me turn my off. It may have something to. How's that?
Yeah. You guys tell Ethan how he looks. Looks clear. Yeah, Michael. He wishes we were still together. I sure do too, man. I wish we could get together.
My Wi-Fi. I'll try that, Mikey. Hey, Michael's
See,
in here.
some people are saying it looks good. Yeah. Some people are saying it looks good. Some people it's glitchy. It could have something to do with I don't know what. I don't understand, but glitchiness. What's that? Oh, Michael. Coin slot says it's better now. I mean, coin worker.
All right, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna try something real quick. Right back.
His backyard. Ethan, can you hear me?
He said, hold on, he's gonna try
Yeah. Mikey. You like that name? Terry Sue came up with that. Yeah, don't change anything now, Ethan. Oh, he went in the house? All right. I guess it's just me. Now I'm getting nervous. There he is. They're saying it looks good now, so
All right, let's try that.
okay.
Reset the dag. Reset the dag. That works. That seems better.
Mikey says we're crystal clear now to him. That's awesome.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm
Hoggy.
glad I figured that out. Gotta get me some coffee.
So I'm gonna show off my frames again real quick while you go ahead and get warmed up or whatever. I'll show them because some guys came in
Yeah.
late. I'll show them stuff. And I got threw in this 100 millimeter Titan Hunter, which I also love. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
Jose gave me the tadpole here, and it's awesome print. However, I that wrap and tuck, so it came undone. I have to brush up on that. The man, the myth, the legend, Chuck and Steele gave me Medusa here for speed shooting right after he taught me how to speed shoot. So that's awesome. And a long time ago, they gave me this from the late James Gonzalez, which I shot it like twice and I didn't want to mess it up. You know what I mean? It's so nice and so, sentimental or whatever, piece of history. But I brought
Yeah,
that out.
definitely.
And the Dawn of Slingshots Double D Slings gave me this a while back. The only thing I did with it was make
Heck
that
yeah.
short, what was it? I can't remember the name of the Queen song now. It's escaped my mind, but it was like boom, boom, the boom, boom. What's that called, honey? Never mind. It's "We Will Rock You." That's right. I did a short.
We will rock you.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So that's what I got. And in case anyone didn't see it, this is what I won ECST with right here.
Hell
My
yeah.
that's my GZK Striver. You know, massive amount of ergo pinch grip right there. So that's what I got out here. How you shooting that can crusher today, Ethan?
Well, I'm hitting the 40. I hadn't got the 12.5 yet, but I'm hitting the 40, so that's a start.
Hey, that's all you need.
That's right. 40's good enough, you know.
Yep. Hillbilly slings
Um,
and a
yeah, Sean, that's me. I got one hanging up there. I'm trying to hit it, but that thing is tiny, man.
oh,
Balls.
uh, Ethan's got a chimp. Ethan, you said you got one of my chipmunk balls hanging up there right now, huh?
It's hanging right there.
It's the only thing about them is they don't show up on camera unless you're zoomed right in.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that means you hit it every single time. No one knows, right?
Yeah, you could call it. Yeah, coin worker. I promise that 40 on them daggum knockdowns felt like it was about that wide. I never did. I nicked it twice, but I never did knock one of them down. I never did get a 10.
Next year, bud.
Oh yeah, next year.
I,
Oh, I hit the chipmunk ball.
nice. See, I'm telling you, if you spend a lot of time with that chipmunk ball, it makes the 40 look
Mm,
gargantuan.
it does. Two in a row.
Nice.
Like I'm getting her warmed up.
Isn't it satisfying hitting a target the same size as your ammo?
It is. Loner Trails, what's going on? That's my buddy right there. He's got a 4-wheeler riding channel and stuff like it. Does a bunch of 4-wheeler stuff. But I used to work with him, and I got him shooting. And
Nice. Oh, that reminds
he
me. Speaking of getting people into shooting, Mister Ethan here taught my wife with my help that how to shoot a slingshot for the first time at ETSC. That was one of the highlights of the whole weekend, man.
definitely top three highlight of the whole weekend, man. For sure.
I use the analogy like if you're at a wedding and your wife wants you to dance, but you're like nah, but then somebody else comes over and they're like, come on, grab you by the hand. Then you're like, all right, I'll do it.
Yep.
That's just like that.
Exactly. It's the same with any of that stuff. I mean, it's just it's a lot of times, when you're with them like that all the time, they're like, eh. But if somebody else, like you said, just walks up and like, hey, let's do this, they're like, okay, let's do it.
You basically peer pressured her into shooting, and it worked
I
out.
did. I did.
Thank you.
Coin worker, same thing. I mean, at the practice range, I was hitting anything and everything I wanted, and then, well, it's raining. I'm gonna shoot over here. I'm gonna scoot over here under the trees and hope it doesn't rain too hard. Back
Everybody
up over here in the trees.
back the rain for a few minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Mikey. We all got shamed on the knockdowns except for Andy.
I don't know how that happened, dude. All you guys can drill 40s. I
It was
just
the pressure, 100%. I've never been so nervous in my entire life. I mean, if I'd have thought about it, I'd have puked. I mean,
yeah.
it was woof.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the things I did that I think helped was I didn't pay attention to how anybody else was doing in, in the knockdown. Like worried better than me, focused on what I had to do. You know what I mean? That was part of it.
It's just I think the main thing was just like you said, just not letting the pressure get to you, not paying attention. The cool thing and the bad thing about me, me and Coin Worker both were on the far end, so we had our back to everything else. But you're sitting here shooting, staring at Nathan Masters, just sitting right in front of you, and it's like, man, I can't look like a fool in front of him.
Whenever we did the head-to-head knockdowns, I was right beside
Yeah,
Bill Hayes, and I felt a little bit intimidated for sure. Even though I knew I had won, I still felt intimidated because not only he's Bill Hayes, the legend, but he's about 8 feet tall.
yeah, he's a big dude. Let me grab my ammo. It's sitting out in the rain. I don't need it all getting wet.
Yeah, the knockdowns have shooters up and under one another too close. Yeah, I don't know. it that always makes me nervous just shooting so close to somebody for the fear if I make a mistake that I could hurt somebody, or somebody could hit me in the back of the head or something like that.
The first shot on my first round of knockdowns, somebody on the far end hit the stand that it was on, and it ricocheted and come right over where me and Nathan were sitting and hit a picture frame up there and broke it, and the glass just kind of rained down. And I was like, whoo. So my nerves were shot then. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I wear safety glasses because there's all kinds of things that can go wrong. Only one in a million, but it only takes once to be
Yeah,
bad.
it just
Bad.
takes.
So
Yeah, it just takes one.
yeah, I got at the practice range. I got hit by a ricochet right in the stomach at night.
Oh, Mikey hit me in the leg.
Lucky for me, I got all kinds of padding on my stomach, so I barely felt it. But
Uh, yeah, Mikey got me in the leg, and then when I went to do my the I hit the thing and a ricochet came back and almost hit Smo. I was like, oh, I'm done. I was like, that's it.
uh, yeah, they need to get rid of the wood in the practice course and put
Yeah,
something else instead of wood for sure. Wood is
I I, I think so too. It's dangerous. I think what they should what I think they should do is hang up 10 Omega can targets. I mean, I think they would be plenty tough, to hold up to the whole tournament. I mean, we had one down there at the practice range that we tried our best to kill, and there was like, I don't know, there's probably 10 of us down there just pumping shots into that thing. It finally broke. I think Zach got the last hit on it, but man, that thing took an absolute beating.
Yeah, especially if you wet them first. Like I've shot leather targets that were real dry, they broke real quick. But if you soften them up, then they last a long time. But the only thing about like the can targets for the competition, the leather ones would be like someone could turn their head for a second and not, be able to verify, I guess,
Yeah.
you hit it or not. But
Yeah, I get it. They might could fix up something like a knockdown target with it or something. I mean, but
yeah, yep,
you
that
know,
would be a lot safer for sure.
I think it would be. Well, let's see if the can crusher will crush a can. I got a can way out yonder at the end of the driveway. We'll do a little long range shooting live, see if we can hit it.
Okay, buddy.
Shot.
Second and third time's a charm.
Shot over it again.
Hey, you might need to start shooting 100 millimeters.
Yeah, it's out there. It's probably about 60 yards.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Mikey. A pool noodle. I mean, they'd have to replace it once in a while, but it is a cheap replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for that. I was watching when you did that. I'm like,
That's right. You and D's is over there.
he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. But the pressure of getting that last one probably got in your head.
It probably did.
Yeah, I was thinking about like our tournament here versus one other. And I think ours just looks so much more fun, having so much more variety than what I see there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm,
Like they primarily do knockdowns in other countries, right? I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
And pay.
If you go to like the big things overseas, it's all knockdowns, all indoors, all knockdowns. You don't really have speed shoots. You don't really have when I don't have wood courses because I mean they're right in the middle of the city and stuff like that. And I think the woods course at night is the best thing to do at the tournament. If you want to have a blast, woods course nighttime, that is the most fun you'll have at a tournament. 100%.
It was a blast, and that was the first time I have ever shot in the dark in my life. And so I was like, "Oh, how is this? Am I going to fork hit every other shot or something?" You know. But it wasn't bad at all. I pretty good at night,
Yeah.
but it was fun. Me and Jose and Carlo went through at nighttime, and Corey there too.
Yeah.
Corey's a real
We
cool guy.
we I was with Miss Leah's Trapper D's wife, coin worker, Michael and Dana. We were behind y'all. Yeah, Corey's a cool.
Yeah, he's quiet like me. Usually, I'm coming out of my shell now that I got a
Yeah.
medal on my
Yep.
neck. Talk, but
Yep. You got to live it up now. Coin worker says not shooting rules, but you have to go with Ethan, dude. I was cracking on coin worker so hard during that daggum night shoot. Man, I'll tell you what, that guy can take a joke like nobody else, dude. Because I mean, I was freaking drilling him.
yeah, that shows your character when you can take jokes all day and not get mad about it. And you have to know
Yeah,
that like you. The more we tease you, the more we like you. I mean, I don't tease people I don't like.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
so,
100%. It was really cool getting to meet coin worker and stuff up there. I mean, because I mean, I feel like I know y'all guys really well anyway. I mean, we've had enough conversations and stuff like that. But when you finally get to meet somebody, I mean, and in person, it's a whole different thing than just you know talking with them while you're online or shooting live with them and stuff like that. It's just a whole different thing.
right. I've, First, Mikey said, now that you've revealed your pinkies, you can come out of your shell. Oh yeah. My name is Andy, and I have small pinkies, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore.
Yeah, yep,
But I was gonna say about what you adding to what you were saying, like when you're going through text, it's hard for comedy to come through text because you can't see that if somebody calls you a name and they're smiling and laughing, then you like it. If
yep,
they're got a serious face and they call you something and you're like, so you can't really tell as well with text. That's the thing. And you
nope,
get
you can't.
and like you get that feedback if you say something funny and they laugh immediately, you feel good. But if you got to wait 5 minutes before the smiley face emoji comes up,
Yep. You're sitting here like, how'd they take that joke? Did they
yeah,
take it good? What's going on?
I just kidding, I swear.
Yep. It's like it was all out of love. I promise.
Yeah, yeah.
Chat party.
I say something that I think is funny and it's crickets for like hours. Most likely just because everyone's busy, but I'm like, bit much.
Yep.
Too
You're
far.
sitting there like, how'd they take that? You know. Billy T. Good morning.
Morning, Billy. I got
This
it.
thing's a 40 killer.
Yeah, and they should call it the 40 crusher.
Yeah, the 40 crusher.
I was gonna say, like, just something I thought of, man. If anybody in here has not been to ECS, I say this is what I like to say. Like, if you got to sell a kidney, just do it because it'll be worth it. You won't miss that kidney, but you're gonna miss out on the best time of your life.
100%. Chad, what's going on? I didn't see you earlier, bud.
Yeah, and also Terry Sue just brought up the funny coincidence that it happens to be an hour and a half from where I grew up till I was 25 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy that you were that close and never knew anything about it until what, a year ago, maybe?
Last,
Maybe
last,
not even that long.
yeah. I mean, I've been shooting for like just over a year, and I started thinking about tournaments like 5 6 months ago, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. Coin Worker says the doghouse is worth it. Yeah, we kind of figured you's in the doghouse because you've been a little quiet here lately. Andy, what's going on, Andy Lowe?
uh, hey, Pete
Man,
Scooter,
that's a cooler cat as I've ever met right there. Andy is he is cool.
Coinslock's wife was celebrating her 50th birthday while he was
oh,
Is that why he's in the doghouse?
oh, I hit. My wife told me, yeah, that what birthday got ignored for his ECST. Whew, I don't know if I'd go that far. Yeah, I mean, I might sell a body part, but my wife's birthday.
just have to move her birthday. Be like, we're just gonna move it. It's gonna be next week now. It just makes you a week younger.
Yeah, and save up some money for something real shiny to give her right before you leave.
Yeah. He said he had flowers and all kind of stuff. He said he showered her with gifts. I was like, yeah, you better, buddy.
Yeah.
Freaking 50th birthday, and you up here shooting you. Ooh, ooh.
Oh man, that sucks. The timing really is what sucks.
Yeah.
Next year when things work.
Yeah, Terry Sue, my wife says that if Coin's wife wants to come next year, they can go to a brewery or go do some wine tasting or something during at some
There
point,
you go.
and she'll teach her how to shoot because she'll be an expert by then.
There we go.
Baby Yoda likes my beard, or Ethan's.
I was looking at that, I was like, who's you talking about?
Probably both of us. We're both really
Probably.
and really.
I, I think you need your eyes checked, buddy. Because this mug ain't winning no beauty contests.
Well,
None.
through these safety glasses, everybody looks beautiful to me.
There you go. With your BCGs on.
Mikey wants to know if I'm going to change my name to Slinging with the Champ.
Slinging with the champ.
That does not sound arrogant or boastful at all to me.
No, no,
Sounds
no.
fit.
It's perfectly fine. It is a statement of fact.
Yeah, I suppose I'm going to have to live with people calling me.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Did you see the thumbnail? Did you see the picture?
I did.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I don't know who came up
Slinging
with.
fire, that's right.
I don't know who came up with Andy Snipe 'em instead of Andy Light 'em, and I thought that was pretty clever too.
That's a good one. I don't remember. That might have been Dean's. It might have been Jose. I'm not sure.
Either way, I don't know. That's another one that I'm like, I can't do that and feel like not boastful, but it's funny though.
Yeah, it is funny. Andy, the best shooter ever, Slingshot Channel.
There we go. That's the one.
That's the one.
How about Andy? I am a better shooter than you, guaranteed.
There you go.
Uh,
Andy, never miss him.
yeah, nothing to live
Take
up.
care, coin worker. Yeah, nothing to live up to there.
Later, coin. Take it easy, brother.
I'm gonna tell you what, when I do videos, if I were to edit out all the misses, I would have like an hour long of footage for 30 seconds of video.
That's pretty much what I do on my channel. Just being
Yeah,
honest.
there you go. Just take a regular size video and cut out all the misses, and it makes a perfect short.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. I don't know. Like that's the one thing I do think about a lot is like I got to walk the line between being entertaining for people to watch and being honest about how I shoot for real. You know what I mean? So it's tough to know what to cut out and what not to.
It
And
is.
I try, like, I've been trying to fast forward my misses or annotate how many tries it took me because who wants to sit through 15 misses? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think most everybody in the community, with the misses, it's not going to draw in new people and stuff like that. But like for guys like me and you that shoot a lot and know, if you're hitting something this small, most people are not going to be able to hit that on the first try every try. I mean, it's just
No.
you're shooting a slingshot. I mean, it's like I tell people all the time. As long as you're shooting a good group, you get you some good groupers and stuff like that, and you're not getting flyers and stuff all the time. That's as good as any competition pistol shooter's going to do. I
Yep.
mean, and it's a whole lot more barbaric or than shooting a pistol. I mean, it's just, but most people aren't going to be able to do that. I mean, most people are not going to be able to walk up with a pistol and shoot a 40 25 times in a row. It's not going to happen. I mean,
Right.
I mean, there's people that can do it. I'm not saying there's not. There's people that can do it with a slingshot, but not everybody's just going to have that kind of skill level.
Right. Yeah. I think on one hand, like, the core guys want to know that you don't tower above them with your skill level. They want to know that you're a
Yep,
normal guy too. But at the
that you're
same
human.
brand new people, if they're like if they see how accurate a slingshot can be, then they're like, I never knew you could do that with a slingshot. I
Exactly.
want to try that. So it's a
Exactly.
fun real me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I try to do a little
Yeah.
bit of both. Just for the record, I miss more than I hit on average. Especially when I'm challenging myself. Like I don't know what to say. It's just I don't. I just hate people thinking I'm better than I am. I mean, I don't want people thinking I'm worse than I am either. But you
No,
know,
no, and I think that's what we were talking about. I think it was me and Corey were talking about at the tournament. It was with that pressure and everything on you and stuff like that. A lot of us guys were disappointed in how we shot, and it's not because we thought we were going to go up there and just run every single one of them. It was because the pressure got to us, and we didn't shoot as good as we knew we could. We didn't shoot at what we thought our skill level was. It wasn't that we didn't, we weren't mad we didn't win. I mean, because I didn't go up there expecting to win. But there was a lot of those shots that I missed that I know I could have hit. I know I could have. I mean, but I just, the pressure got to me and I missed them.
yep. I, when we first got there, and like I immediately went to the woods course with most all the jugs, with no warm up whatsoever. I did not
Yep.
take one warm up
Me,
shot.
yep.
Yeah.
Me
So,
neither.
I'm not trying to say, look how great I am. I did what embarrassed me almost was like the second target was the size of a 5-gallon bucket, and I missed it
And I missed it.
12 yards. Like, oh boy,
Yep.
this is how this is gonna go. you know.
Yep.
So it's one of those things. I am very blessed and lucky that I shot pretty much how I do on average. Which
Yeah.
is not amazing, but so many people shot half as good as they normally
Yeah.
do. Like,
Yeah.
for example, I feel like Zach. man, he is such a good shooter.
Yeah.
He's a sniper. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, no, he is. But man, he
Yep.
was having trouble, and that sucks that he didn't get to show what he can do.
Yeah. And you could tell he took that to the chest, which I mean, shows he's passionate about what he does. I mean, and I just don't want it to discourage him, at all from not coming again or not going to another event or anything like that. And I don't think it will. But well, I mean, we all know Zach shoots fire, man. And I was down at the practice range with him and shooting with him, and dude, I mean, he was drilling just everything. And it was 100% the pressure. I mean, that's what got 90% of everybody who shot terrible that weekend was the pressure. And I just that the way they had the knockdown set up with everybody in there and stuff like that. That's the most stressful situation I've ever been in. I mean, 100%. It was stupid.
Leading up to the tournament, I was so convinced that I was going to go into the knockdowns and puke or powder or just not shoot
Yeah,
myself in the face or something bad because I was so scared. I get nervous in front of people easy,
yeah,
but it was, I think part of it was that I was in such a good mood just hanging out with all the boys and meeting all these awesome people that I felt like even if I missed every one, nothing could bring my spirits down. You know what I mean?
no, 100%, 100%.
So, so
And
I'm like, I
and
could.
at the end of it, I had the time of my life. I mean, I did not shoot as well as I wanted to, but I had the time of my life, and I wouldn't change anything about it. I mean, the whole weekend was perfect. It was wonderful. I mean, I had a blast, and just learn and move on. That's what you have to do.
That's it. I mean, I don't want to be handing out advice on how to keep your cool during
Rex.
because I only done it once. You know what I mean? I can't. I don't. I'm not saying, hey guys, I'm an expert on how to stay cool during a tournament. Did it once, but I do know that next year I'm going to try to maintain the attitude of having fun and hanging and
Hmm.
let go of your miss. So what? Don't get down on yourself if you miss.
Yeah, don't get down. Just regroup, and do what you do at home. Just when you miss at home, what do? You just put you slap another piece of ammo in there. You pull back and you shoot again. You don't think about that miss. You just move on.
Exactly. It's like when people are watching, you start beating yourself up over the first, second, and that creates a downward spiral of your mood. If I'm in a bad mood, I shoot like crap, guaranteed. So
Yep. Yep.
a positive attitude, and then a lot of it will just take care of itself right there. You know.
It will. It will. Rex, what's going on, bud? It was great hanging out with you this weekend, man, or last weekend. Rex is a real cool dude. I
Yeah,
liked hanging with Rex.
Rex is one of those guys that I know him from the internet, but I didn't really know him. And when I met him in person, I'm like, oh, I wish I would have been talking to this guy more. He's a real
Yeah.
cool dude here. Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Some people like they don't show their true personality or something. He does, but
Yep.
I didn't know him until I met him in person and saw the smile on his face when he said something funny or whatever. And I don't know, he's a cool dude.
He is. I've talked to Rex quite a bit on the phone and through stuff, and we've done a couple lives together. And so I felt he was one of the guys I felt like I already knew going up there, but meeting him in person was really cool. And I got another cool thing. I got to teach him how to shoot a pickle fork this weekend. That was fun.
Oh, you taught him to shoot a pickle?
Yep. He'd never shot one at all, and dude, he missed like the first 5 shots he took with a pickle fork, and then he was freaking drilling a can after that, dude. I mean, just shot after shot after shot, he was hitting it.
Nice. That's impressive right there. To pick something up that fast that's so kind of different.
Picked it up crazy fast.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's the thing, though. Everybody thinks a pick a fork is difficult, but the way I shoot it, if you shoot long draw, a pick a fork is not difficult. I mean, literally the way I shoot it, you can make it as hard as you want to, but if you shoot long draw and you can shoot with a straight wrist, dude, I don't even tweak.
really.
I don't tweak. It's just straight up shooting, and I mean, it's really just finding your sweet spot for that tiny frame. After that, I mean,
Yeah, long draw, you got an extra fraction of a second for your frame to get out of the way, right?
yep. You do, and it's just more time, and and for your frame to move and for everything else to kind of get lined out. And I mean, if I'm shooting a really slow tube setup, I can do it short draw as well that way. But I still, if it's a regular band set, man, you just pretty well have to tweak PFS short draw. There's probably some guys out there that don't have to, but I do.
Yeah,
I can get by pulling it to like right here, just barely past my, and do it, but I have to get it a little further back. It just don't work for me short draw.
yeah. Now, let me ask you this: is shooting a pickle fork with clay the same with steel, or is it the steel slows down the bands a little bit and makes it easier?
If you're shooting long draw, it don't make any difference.
Okay,
It don't make any difference at all. And especially if you're going to use half-inch clay weighs about the same thing as,
eight
it's
mil.
about like 8 mil, ain't it? Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I've shot 8 mil. I've shot quarter inch. Out of the long draw, that much of a difference.
Uh,
All you got to do is just all I literally all I do is tie my bands TTF, and then I've got them to where you're holding the ammo like this, and your bands are flat, and you just pull it straight back, and like I said, just cant that fork forward like that, and then when you let go, you just kind of push through, and dude, I mean, it's just straight up every time. I mean, just bang, bang, bang.
I, have you made a video on how to shoot a pickle fork yet?
I have not. I need to. I need to do one, because the way I do it works for me, and it worked for Rex. I was kind of curious to see if it was something. Maybe I was doing something without thinking about it, but then after I showed Rex, dude, and I mean, he was bang on. And there's something about twisting it to me that brings it down, like if I were to just grab a 60 millimeter frame, a 60 millimeter frame, which is about the average size of a pickle fork, is 60 millimeters. If I were to grab a regular 60 millimeter frame and pull back to my normal anchor point with normal OTT bands, I could anchor right here, and I'm still going to have to aim this far below the target. But there's something about when you twist it and pull it back like that. I can, most of the time, my anchor for my pickle forks is right here. It's
Uh,
it's a little bit. It's about like an 85 anchor point, and that's putting the corner of it dead on.
yeah, man. I don't. I'm not like into the world of slingshots enough to know who's the best pickle fork guy or anything like that. But of all my friends, I think you're the one who does it the most and is the best at it that I know well. You know what I mean? And
If if I had to say the best picklers, it would probably Hunter James is one of the
oh yeah,
best.
yeah. Me and Hunter don't know. We don't really know each other much, but you know, I believe you.
Yeah,
I watched
yeah, he's good. He's really good.
I watched several of his videos, but I just didn't happen upon one with the pickle fork. But
Yeah. And the thing about shooting a pickle fork, yesterday I was shooting an OPFS. I shot an OPFS pretty well all day long. I was mowing the yard, and I was shooting it because I use a little bit shorter draw, and I was shooting it instinctively. I wasn't aiming, just shooting. And I was tearing a can all to pieces. I had a can hung up in a tree in part of my circle, and I mean, I was sitting down, just bang, just ripping them off, driving and stuff. And I do that a lot when I'm mowing. I'll set up a couple targets and stuff, and mow, and be driving and shooting at the same time.
and you haven't
But
videotaped
that's
yet? You haven't videotaped
I hadn't
yet?
got a frame hit. Oh no, I hadn't videoed it. That would make a pretty cool short.
Heck yeah, that'd be funny.
It would. I may have to do that.
It put that
I have
in
to set the camera up.
put that in the how to shoot a pickle fork as your intro. Just riding around mowing the lawn, shooting cans.
Shoot, there you go. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
I
I
I
may
just
have to give that a go.
I just want to say I'm real sorry for not keeping up with the chat. I am so bad about like like for example when I drive, I'm the type of guy who looks right down the center of the road. So
Yep.
like when we're on a co-live, I'm just looking at your face talking to you, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry guys, I'm ignoring the chat completely. I just suck at like multitasking that way, you know.
It's all good. They're having a conversation. I think Sean is getting him a hillbilly. like he's getting him a hillbilly. And Mikey said something earlier about hosting a tournament here, dude. I'm down. I need to get I've got a pretty good place in the back there. I've got a real level spot that would be perfect for like cans and knockdowns and stuff like that. And there's plenty of woods here. Uh, I've got kind of a small-ish wood course kind of set up with some small targets. They're small as all get out. You remember those at the practice range? They had a those little birds that's got a bird on top and a target on the bottom.
Yeah, yeah,
Excuse me. That spin. I've
yeah,
got a bunch of those set up throughout here, with stuff like that. That's what I usually shoot for practice, like the woods course, and stuff like
yeah.
that.
I think it would.
Different heights and stuff.
That kind of gives me an idea. Like they could make a woods course or a section of it where it's a much smaller target, but you get more tries at it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because they got relatively large targets, but you got one try
Yeah.
to get your distance and
Yep.
everything. Where if they could put up some like 40 millimeter sized targets, but you get three or whatever amount of shot tries at it,
Yeah.
that would be kind
Well, ACC has one of the toughest wood courses I've ever shot. ECST, I scored terrible on it, but as far as like you know difficulty of the woods course, like you said, there were some hard kind of shots, but that the targets were decent size. Anybody with should be able to hit those targets. I mean they're in some hateful places and stuff like that, but it's a size that's manageable. Like ACC, like one of them, the most hateful target. He's got this big old smiley face. It's like 8 inches, but the whole mouth is cut out of it. Both of the eyes are cut out of it, and you literally have like a sliver about this big all the way around that target. The biggest spot on it is about the size of a 40, right in the forehead. And but at there, you get 3 shots per target. The first, if you hit it on the first shot, you get 3 points, and then if you hit it on the second one, you get two. You hit it on the third one, you get one. Of course, when you hit it, then you move on, whether you hit it on the first or the last. But you get 3 shots at it, and I kind of like that on a more difficult course
of
because it gives you a little lead way to keep from getting a goose egg.
yeah, yeah. Like
But
I'll
there are some mean targets. They're horrible. I mean, they're hateful targets.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier at an unknown distance to hit a small target on your third try than it is to hit a big one on your first try. I
Yep.
think some ways,
Yep.
you take that first shot. Oh, it went a little bit low, but perfectly straight. All I got to do is hold a little bit higher, and I'll hit it.
Yep.
But
Yep.
those big targets could be easy, but they can be, like
Yep.
you get overconfident, like holy cow, this thing's the size of a dog here. I'll just not even barely aim. Oh,
You just
oh no.
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, they could put another variation that would be cool is like there's a target and it,
Manuel, what's going on, bud?
well, like if you hit it 3 times, you get more points. If you hit it 2 times, you get less points. If you only hit it
Hmm.
1 time, they could, but that could get more complicated for the scorekeeper
It
too.
could. It could. That's that. I like the score at ACC. Like I said, if you hit it on the first one, you get 3 points. Second one, two. I really like that system because, like I said, it keeps you from really getting in your head because when you go up there and miss a round, like you said, that's like freaking this big, dude, you're like, what the crap, and it's like I suck, and but if you got that second shot, you're like, all right, I got this, and then you hit it, and it keeps your confidence up. It helps get you a little better score, and it just kind of flows good. I don't know. I like the way they had it set up. I'm not saying anything about ECST. They've been doing it that way for years, and it works. And it makes you really think about that first shot you're taking because it's the only one you're getting at it.
Right. Exactly. Like, yeah, I don't think they should change that much, but I'm just saying I just like brainstorming ideas because I think the sport's growing and we're gonna start having more
I do too.
tournaments. They don't all have to be exactly the same. Like they
No,
can
they don't.
be like the magic or the draw of a certain place to go because you like that style of way they set up their scoring system or whatever.
And another thing about the 3 point wood system, Mikey says he likes that system, and I do too. I really like the system. Is it promotes newer people? I mean, because you'll have the higher skill guys that will hit more threes. They'll get more threes than new people. But if you're new, you get 3 shots at it. And it feels really good. Even if you get it on that last one and you're only getting 1 point, it feels really good when you hit that and you're like, yeah, I got that one. And especially, like there were some of them in ACC, like there was one of them that was a rocket ship, and it was literally about this big, and it had 2 holes in it. It had a hole here and a hole here in the dead center of it. And Eric, my oldest, he hit it on his third try, and he was just stoked that he hit that thing, because I mean it was that's a hard target, it's a really 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 hard target, and but when you got that extra time on it, it promotes the newer guys, because there's a lot of people, you take like a brand new shooter and take them out to ACST and put them on that woods course. They're only going to take that many shots the whole time. There's a fair chance they're coming out with a goose egg.
Yeah, and that makes you feel real bad when you shouldn't feel
Yeah,
bad.
it does.
Yeah, like I was gonna say to add to that, like everybody knows that we shooters don't like to end on a miss. We want redemption when we set our mind to a target. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, if you have to, like, you can't even try again until it's for fun later. That makes you feel like unfinished business. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it does. And that was the cool thing about going through it on the Knights course. When I and honestly, I was like, man, why didn't I do this to start with? But when I went through the night course, I took the first time when I went with Coin and we had a pretty good sized group that night. I took a pickle fork, because that seemed to be the only thing I was hitting with all weekend. And I took it and went out there and had a perfect score on the whole daggum thing with a pickle fork. And I was like, man, why didn't I take that to start with? But that second time through, you figure out, okay, this one is this far. I gotta aim a little above it. This one's this far. You gotta do this, and that's one thing about not seeing it and shooting it for the first time as well is you've got to range those targets, and not having a feeler shot at all can really mess with you on some of those.
yeah, especially elevations, that messes with your perception of distance
Yep.
too. Like if you're not used to shooting upwards in a tree or shooting down, that can mess with you. And I was gonna say, like, my favorite redemption shot on the woods course was the very last bonus target. There was that bird way up
Yep.
on the there. Like I shot under it, like always misses high. I almost never miss low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got redemption when Fowler he invited me to shoot with him and Smo, sorry, but the woods course again. And I was like, I was nervous because Fowler's camera was on me and everything. I got to that bonus, that one at the end,
Yeah.
tries to get 3 times before I hit
Yeah.
that one on my first shot, and I was like, that's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What's going on, ATO? We got ATO up in here.
Hey, what's up, Mark? How we doing?
But yeah, that's all I'm saying is, I mean, of course, there's not really going to be a lot of there's going to be newer shooters and stuff like that. But ECST, unless it's just close or somebody, most people are not going to make that as their first tournament. You know, um, most people, most people. I mean, most. But especially people that are just new to the sport in general, they're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to go to the biggest one. No, most of those guys are going to find a smaller one somewhere to go to and stuff like that. But I like the 3 point system because, like you said, it just builds confidence,
Yeah,
if nothing else. And you got to have some confidence in your shooting ability to be able to make some of those shots. I mean, you have to trust yourself.
that's one thing I focused on. I'm fortunate enough to have some wooded trails around my house, and I would go out there at least a couple times a week and just pick out branches that were up in the tree or
Yep.
pick out a twig that was below ground level and just try to like shoot at random distances without even trying to guesstimate how far to just let my instincts figure it out. And I think that helped me. I got like a 34
Yeah.
on a woods course, but no warm up. So not bragging, but
That's great.
that started me off on the right foot. Like once I
Yep.
did that, I felt like, hey, I'm not going to completely suck here. You know
Yep.
what I mean? I at
And
least
see, the woods course had the opposite effect on me. I came out with a 19, and I was like, blah, you know?
confidence.
Yep.
Yeah,
Shot right off the bat because that was literally we showed up, we said hello, and all of us just hit the woods course.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was like I said. Obviously, I wouldn't change anything. Obviously,
No, well, I wouldn't either. I
I
wouldn't either. I wouldn't either.
for all I know, if I would have warmed up before the woods course, I could have done worse. You know, and
Exactly.
I didn't warm up for really almost any of the events, and that may have actually helped me because I feel like sometimes you used up all your good concentration practicing. Like that happened to me this speed shoot.
Yeah.
Chuckin taught me how to shoot high style, and I did about 4 or 5 rounds, and I got it done in under a minute. And I said, "Well, now what better time than now?" And then
Yep.
I choked and only got like 6 cans.
Yeah. That one's harder than people realize it is, because here at home, I can hang up one of those can targets, and I mean literally 25 to 30 seconds every time I want to shoot it, and I barely got my 10. Mikey scored. I barely. I mean, I think it was like 58 seconds. I mean, it was just like, what the crap,
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing how different it was on that one. That one I felt the pressure, but I wasn't comfortable. I hadn't trained for it, but still, like that's one where I could say the pressure got to me on the speed shoot for
Yeah.
sure. I was fumbling. Like I think I may have dropped a couple of rounds, and yeah, I've always felt like I hate time limit, man. I hate a time limit.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mike, yeah, we did. We practiced, but I mean, I think Mikey was right on the same. Me and Mikey practiced quite a bit, and I think our times were just about the exact same. It was right down to the wire.
Yep. But anyways, it's really cool that like they have such a variety, so that like
Yeah,
say one guy's not so good at one area, but he shines in another area, he has a chance to shine. You know what I mean? Where
yeah.
if there's only
One thing I think that they should do is add some more points to those other uh, 100 and 100 way up. It just
yeah,
I think they need to add a little more weight to some of those other events because I mean, like the saw blades, that's worth 10 points. Point. Like it needs,
yep, yeah, like those guys that got 10 points on that saw blade, they deserve more credit for that because that's not an easy
mhm.
task. Like you're changing position every time. You're shooting way up in the air, which hardly any of us get to practice
Yeah,
very often. And it's deceivingly big, another deceivingly big target. You know what I mean? So you don't sit there and aim.
that's hard to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I totally agreed. It was a little bit lopsided on the, I mean, like, and it doesn't like allow someone who's skilled in a certain area to kind of like say, hey, at least but they got the medals for individuals, some of the individual events. That's
I you know, it was an awesome fun time.
Right.
But it just kind of makes you, if you were to make your own something like that, kind of makes you think about some stuff that you might do.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, yeah, I don't. If they don't change a thing next year, it's still going to be the most awesome
Oh,
time you could.
heck yeah,
But yeah, like you said, if you start your own, there's a chance like make things a little bit your way, a little bit better, and get input from the guys and what they like and stuff like that. And one more thing I was going to say, as a piece of advice for anyone going to ECST next year, if you feel that you need to use the restroom, as soon as you feel anything, start walking, because you're going to have five people stop you and want to chit chat with you, and you don't want to snub them, you don't want to brush them off. You're like, man, I'm gonna, I'm gonna have to here, bud. Which is awesome that there's that many people wanting to talk and meet you. But man, it seems like as soon as I start walking towards the bathroom, like they all come out. Hey, Slinging Clay. And like it was perfect weather, but I was still kind of like drinking a lot of water and sweating, and so it happened a few times. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be rude, bud, but I got to get over that.
and rock that baby. I mean, I mean, every time, but that really does help.
That's exactly what I did. Like, I anything with my tournament frame for like several months before the tournament, so that helped me right there. Like, I don't have
Yep,
so much. I like to try new frames, but I don't have that. I need a new one every day kind of thing. And it was, I took it to the extreme that I bought an identical striver for my
yeah,
backup, so that if
yeah,
I needed to switch frames in the middle of the knockdowns, it would be exactly the same. And I tested it out, make sure it shot the same for me. And I didn't end up using it, but it was there. It was comforting knowing that if I had to, I could pick up my spare and it's identical. And I end up
mhm,
giving that to Jose because he said, "Oh, I've been looking at
yeah,
that thing, and like I don't really need two of them when I'm not in that
yeah,
situation." So
yeah.
that's why he gave me that one, kind of like as a trade or whatever. He probably heard that I hate wrapping tucks. I was like, "Yeah, I'll give him this one." Right, exactly. Jose's a real. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jose is really cool. Hell of a cool dude.
He's
Jose is really cool.
he's another one that I didn't feel super close to him before the tournament. Like we talked and everything, but I just didn't know him that well. But after the tournament, I felt like I got to see his personality in real life, and he's a super cool dude.
Yeah,
Like him a lot. Yeah, yeah, he's a little more serious to me, but in person,
yeah,
he was more like joking around more than me, even.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I like him a lot.
Oh, he was cracking a joke every 5 seconds. I mean, it was so time from that guy. I was like, dang, Jose.
Yeah. And then there's me. I think Mikey said he was surprised at how reserved I was, not telling all the dirty jokes and whatnot. And I said, like, I was so afraid that there was a kid or a camera right behind me at all times. I tried to keep it a little, suppress my
Yeah.
my dark sense of humor.
And if somebody would have been sitting out there in the woods listening to that,
Yeah, if I would have been on the woods course at night with all the jugs, I probably would have started,
yeah,
getting letting.
busted loose.
But still, like whenever me and Jose and Carlo and Corey were on the woods course at night, and another group came, but we couldn't tell who they were, just flashlights. And I yelled something a little bit dirty, thinking it was you guys, and here it was a couple, like two or three little kids. I'm like, oh no, sorry. I thought you were the boys, not little boys.
Not little boys. Oh,
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but that's why I tried to be careful what I say, because you never know
yeah,
who's right
yeah.
behind you.
No, you don't. No,
I,
that's good. That you know, but like you, how you get how he comes up is at the knockdown. He had left center after everybody had left. I was so mad. But anyway, um, he come up there and he's like, hey, you see what I got? And I was like, oh, you got this, you got Andy's frame. And he was like, yeah, I got his backup. He's like, after I gave him a good sloppy BJ, and then he turns around and there's this like 5-year-old kid standing there looking up at. He was just like just pure shock. His eyes almost blown out of his head. He was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "Well, at least you used the letters and didn't just
yeah,
blurt it out."
let, let, let's hope that kid didn't know what those letters stood for.
let's hope. But it was just like you should have seen Jose's face though, man. I wished I had a camera the minute he seen that kid, dude. Because I mean, he just, I'm looking at him, because as soon as he said it, I see the kid, and I'm like, and then he just kind of looked at me funny, and he turned around and he was like, it was epic, dude. I was dying. Uh,
If anyone out there has some footage of that happening, I will trade my trophy for possession of that footage.
yeah, yeah, no joke. Oh
That footage.
man, it was gold, dude. I was freaking dying. I mean, my side was hurting afterwards. I was laughing so hard just from the look on his face, man. It was priceless. But it seemed like every time Jose would do that, he would always look over and there's a kid, and it's like Jose, you gotta do that little rubbernecking a little bit before you start cracking them jokes.
Exactly. Look over your shoulder before you say something dirty.
Yeah, yo. God, it was so funny though, man. I was almost in tears. I was laughing so hard, and just to look at his face, man. Whew.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's like you want to let go, but man, I
Yeah,
don't like. We can laugh about it now, and so can he. But in the moment,
yeah,
like just that one
yeah, yeah,
yelled something a little bit dirty, and the kids walked out. I felt like this bit. I felt so bad about it. Like
yeah,
this us representing the slingshot community. This is what we're like. So bring your kids in. They're gonna love
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Bring your kids in; they're gonna love it. Just make them wear earmuffs.
We'll teach them about life real quick here.
Yeah. We'll teach them more about life in 5 minutes than they'll ever learn at home.
Exactly.
Just like, woof. It's something else, man.
I'm gonna take a couple shots with this cactus from Jose. Oh, that went no James. Sorry.
Chola.
James
Yeah,
Gonzalez.
James Gonzalez.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish I met the dude. I hear he was awesome. That sucks,
He
but
was actually the first slingshot shooter I ever met. I was working in Arizona right before the Southwest tournament, and I was I wasn't probably 10 minutes away from where the tournament happened, and I reached out to him and told him, I wanted to donate some stuff for the tournament. And he was like, awesome, so he came by. He actually drove to my hotel where I was staying at, and he was the first person I met like that. We hung out for a little bit, and went just chit chatted for a while. I guess he's probably there for like an hour and a half. And we, just had a good time conversating and stuff like that. So he'll always be pretty special to me, because like I said, it's the first guy I ever met, and he was a really cool dude, man. Really
did
cool
you
dude.
end up with one of his
I
frames?
have two.
Nice.
I
Nice.
have two. I have one of them that's like that one that has got peach colored resin in it. It's about 87 millimeters wide too, so it's a really good size. And then I have one that he made out of a tree fork, an actual tree fork, little old bitty thing. It probably ain't that wide, and it's got his initials. It was one of the first early on when he first started kind of making stuff, frames, and so that was pretty cool. That I wound up with both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I just want to take a couple shots with this. I'm not even gonna shoot it enough to like get it dialed in. I just want
Yeah,
to take one. I don't. I'm so scared if I were to mess it up. It's irreplaceable, really. So
yeah,
I mean,
you're not replacing that.
it would just have a battle scar, but still, I'd like to keep it as it was.
Yep,
So
yep,
let me concentrate here for
definitely.
a sec. Almost getting closer.
Getting closer. ATO said he would get in so much trouble.
Yeah,
Dude, ATO is hard. That's why I say the Knights Wood course was the best part of it, because you got to pick the group of guys you went out there with. A good hit. I seen that. You got to pick the group of the guys that you went with, and you went out there, and there was really nobody around most of the time. Close by, but not real close, and you let it go. I think that was the reason I enjoyed the Woods course so much, was just because you could just let it go. Hillbilly, I had mine with me. I shot it at the practice range a couple times with Rex.
I'm gonna try to get a hit with Chuck and Medusa. The
The
legend,
Medusa.
the living legend, had his hands on this frame. I want everyone to know that. It was so cool because you know it's no secret that I look up to Chuck and Steele. I mean, I'd mention him
Yeah,
in like every video. Pretty much the best in my opinion. So to have him give me a personal lesson and like give me his frame and shoot the woods course with him, magical, man,
yeah,
magical.
for sure, man.
Such a down to earth, nice guy too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if he wasn't my slingshot hero, he would probably be. If I worked with him, we'd be buddies, even if we had nothing in common, type of
yeah,
guy.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
just an old country boy.
Yep, he's that type of guy who, if you need help and you're a stranger, he's right there. He'll get grease all over his hands to try to help somebody.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Well, I tell people a lot, um, that hey, I had a lot of trouble with latex when I first started shooting. Uh, terrible time with it, because I never could find anything that worked for me. I either got crazy band slap out of it, or it was slow as all get out, and tapers and all that stuff. And that crap's confusing. I
Yeah.
mean, it's confusing as all oh, get out. And I caught him live back when he was still living in Colorado, and he kind of gave me some pointers on some latex and stuff like that, and pointed me to Mark to watch some of his videos on some of the stuff because I was a short draw shooter, and then. And Chucky was like, he's like, I don't really know that much about short draw, but I mean, he was still stepped out there and and took time, just kind of pretty well just stopped doing what he was in the live to answer any question I had about anything, and he pointed over to his channel, and that's when I got on GZK Green. Uh,
Nice.
um, but it was that's kind of what got me had with simple. God, it's like pulling, and it would slap the crap out of you, and it just didn't work at all.
Yeah, yeah. Bands are huge. They're every bit as important as your frame is, if not more important. I think. Like
More, yeah,
you
I
can
think more.
you can learn and get used to any frame, but if your latex is not like if it's giving you problems, be fun, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you could put good latex on a roughed out tree fork that ain't even been sandpaper's not even touched, and get on target with it. But you can take you could take a can crusher and put some thick 1 millimeter, and the wrong taper, wrong length or whatever, and
unmatched,
and and
unmatched.
not be able to hit the catch box out here.
Right. Hence the problem with the Daisy wrist rocket. That's why.
Yeah,
Why.
it's there's nothing wrong with that frame. It's a great frame. I mean, it works fine, but the latex on it is garbage.
Yep. Yeah. But one more thing I was gonna, well, a few things about Chuck, and that, like, one, he solved more than one of my problems either during a live or through a message or
Mhm.
whatever. They're
Mhm.
major things, but they were little gold nuggets that made all the difference in the world. Just little
Yeah.
things that he could tell me, and I'm like, that just saved me months of trial and error right there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Well, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
he
That's
one more, sorry, one more thing that,
Go
like,
ahead.
we're all busy, and he's a dude family to, a job and trying to help run a business and everything, but he's
Mhm.
always willing to, like, help people, support people's channels. Like, I love you,
That's
Chuckin.
just that's one cool thing about the slingshot community in general. Is that there are a lot of good guys like that. That all you got to do is ask. Like Mark here. I mean, Mark. I feel like he's a guy you could reach out to with any question. It doesn't matter what it is, and ask him, and he would give you his honest opinion on it and stuff like
Right,
that. That's one cool thing because it's like, you know, in a lot of hobbies that people get into that have a lot of sports, we'll call it a sport because we do have competitions, sports that you get into and stuff like that. People don't want to give away trade secrets because they think you might take it and make it might make you better than them. And slingshots, that is not the case. We all want everybody to be better because the better you are, the harder I push myself to be better. And Jordan Smothers. That's another guy that's helped me out on the building side and stuff and shooting and stuff like that. He's not scared to tell you anything. I mean, like he's just there's a bunch of guys like that just really just all they want to do is help.
right, right. And as far as getting help, I think there's an advantage to short draw shooters because you can find help from way more sources on short draw
Yep.
than you can long draw. Like, yeah, there's getting gain in popularity, but, even just a year ago, there was not that many guys that I could just say, hey bud, I'm having trouble with my long draw shooting, can you help me? But Chuckin's one of them,
Yep.
and I hope to be like that someday too. Like, if
Yeah.
people ask me, like, even me and Carlo were just chit chatting, and he was observing how I hold my pouch when I shoot
Yeah.
full butterfly,
Thumb
and he's
thumb
like,
on the bottom.
yeah, thumb down, like, kind of just the way I held my wrist, and how the hold on, let me grab, like, this is something I got from Chuckin, that, like, when I used to pull full butterfly, I tried to have my fingers like perpendicular
Mm.
to the pouch, right? Like, because that makes sense. But really, when you
Yep.
pull butterfly, you want it more like coming out of your knuckles,
Yep.
like way back
Because
like
you're
that.
yep.
And that,
Because whenever you straighten your hand, it's gonna twist, and if you're holding it, like you said, perfectly straight like that, and you pull back, you're gonna have a tweak in it.
right. And I've thrown a lot of curveballs doing that,
Hmm.
like perfectly nice round balls, and I'll see them curve, and I'm like, what am I? My ammo dented or something? No, you're like throwing a curveball, baseball, basically. I think that's what happens. Throw a
Yep.
curve on it. So that's one of those gold nuggets that Chuckin gave me, and then Carlo somehow didn't pick up on it, and he was in the live stream, but he saw me do it, and I said, yeah, man, like it makes all the difference in the world, the angle of the pouch compared to when you're pulling full butter. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just stuff like that. Like you don't need to talk to someone for an hour to help them. Like
No.
those few
No.
little
You
things.
don't have to.
Yeah.
Like I said, those little gold nuggets.
Yep.
Blind squirrel, what's going on? I wished I'd have got to meet you at the tournament, man. I didn't get to meet Blind Squirrel, and I didn't. I don't think I ever seen him.
And like I watch Mark ATO's channel, and
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it, but like if I need advice, I'm gonna go to like the long draw guy. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like by the
Yep.
time I'm watching him, there's starting to be more and more channels telling you how to tie bands and what tapers are good. And
Yep.
like there was a time when Mark was the source.
Yep.
You could still learn a ton. He's the
He
best.
is.
You
Yeah.
are, Mark. You're in here. I'm not just talking you up because you're in here. It's true. Like when you're starting out, no better source to learn short draw stuff, band,
Yep. Well, and just what he teaches you about latex, you can transfer a lot of that over to long draw. Like he teaches you how to do, your lengths and the elongation and all that stuff.
right, right. Yeah, but like what I found when I take like tapers that short draw guys like, and I transfer it over to butterfly shooting, the bands are overpowered because you got so much, uh, power stroke or whatever. Like I get way more hand slap if I use a short draw taper and use it on butterfly because it's too much power. Like so
Yeah.
when you're looking
What
for,
what taper do you use, Andy?
well, I use a few depending, but what I've been shooting and I shot at the tournament is just point .5 Omega White, 20 to 12. It's a
20 to
simple.
12.
I was doing 22 to 14 because Truckin used it and I like it, but I cannot shoot it all day like I can that tape.
Mm-mm.
Shoot 500 shots and be pretty good still. And then like I tried 18 to 12 and that throws it downrange good, but I found that I need a bit more resistance to feel my release.
Yeah.
See, like when I'm drawing back, like I'm feeling for even pressure on my thumb and my pointer
Yep.
finger. And like when the
Yep.
band is too light, I can't feel that as well, where a little more resistant. I can like say, okay, I'm putting too much thumb to it. Oh, I'm putting too much pointer finger to it. So like 20 to 12 is like the perfect balance. It's such an old school like taper, isn't it? I mean,
That's
it's so
that's what I shot short draw. 20 to 12 short draw. I that's exactly what I used because I'd use point .5 for 8 mil, and then I'd step it up to point .5 for 9.5. I mean, I used that same taper. It just worked all the way across different ammos, and that's one reason I liked it for
yeah,
short draw was
yeah,
because it was just a good all around taper.
right. Now, if I want to shoot long distance or I want ultimate power, I'll step it up to 22 to 14, point .5 or point .55, point .6, whatever. But I just can't practice all day with that. You know what I mean? I can get about
Yeah,
100, 150 shots before my fingers are toast with 22 to
that's
14.
one thing I like about this taper. I use and you seen it. I mean, it's tiny. It's 16 to 10. That's what I use for long draw. And the reason I kind of liked it at first was I was an 8 mil guy, and I used point 0.4, 0.45, and it shoots that great. And then I was like, well, I want to try 3/8, so let's step it up. And I popped it up to the point 0.5, and I mean it throws pretty good. I mean it's got decent speed. I mean, it's not. It shoots flat. It's not throwing laser beams. But if I really want to up it and get that little extra power out of it, all I do is just go up to a point 0.6,
Right.
or a point 0.55, and it's just kind of my do-all taper. It's just what I've been shooting, and I've just kind of ran with it.
Oh yeah, and it helps that you have an 8 foot wingspan also. You know.
It does. That makes a big difference, because when you're shooting long draw, a lot of guys I say like you use a 16 to 10, and they're like that's a tiny taper, and they're like I can't get any power out of that, with the point 0.5, and it's like well, I mean it's a pretty good stretch there.
Remember
I don't think about that.
when we were walking the woods course? I'm like, Ethan, put your arm up against mine. Let's see
Yeah.
what's going on. And you're like your wrist was at my fingertips, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
raw than me. You know, I mean that means a
Yeah.
lot. An extra
It
six,
does. I mean,
that's big. So, and
yeah, it makes a big difference.
I have shorter arms than average. Like my full
Yeah.
butterfly, I almost have to do it because that's most people's 3/4 butterfly. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
What do you cut yours at full butterfly? How long?
How
The
long?
Omega White. Yeah. How
I
long?
I cut him to 260, which sounds
260.
long, but I kind of lean more towards longevity and controllability. Like I could
Yeah.
cut so
Yeah.
much butterfly him, but I don't feel like I need that for shooting inside 30 yards. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah,
what that's
and
how
that's
I.
one thing. Most these are 260, and because I've been playing more full butter because most of the time I shoot about right here, but I've been stretching it on out, and these are 260. But now they are maxed. I mean that's when I get to that end, that's a hard stop. You know.
Yeah, and like I used to cut mine so that they were kind of maxed at full butterfly, but I would shoot 3/4, kind of like what you do, you know. But then I found that when I went to full butterfly, my release and my grip on the pouch was not dialed in, so I would be less accurate. So I said, I'm
Yeah.
just full butter all the time, and then I'll just not max out my bands. That way, you know, I got enough power to make it out to 30 yards easily. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, and still barely even hold higher than normal. So that's how I
That's
did.
one thing that I tell people a lot that shoot half, like half butterfly or 3/4 or wherever they're at, is a lot of the guys don't max their bands out. Um, and when you're shooting it like that half stuff, you either have to have a stopping point or you're one of those guys who puts your hand out first and then goes with it, because if you're not maxing your bands out and you're doing that, you might draw to here this time, here this time, here, and each one of those little movements affects your accuracy a lot.
Under,
And that's why when I shoot this, I'm maxed. That's maxed. That's that'll be whatever. When I'm shooting the 3/4, whatever length I'm shooting, I like to have it maxed because you get that stop and it's repeatable.
but whenever I found when I pull full butterfly, my elbow actually stops, so I don't need to have
Yeah.
a wall in my bands to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
because anywhere in between full butter and whatever, and anything shorter, I'm going by pressure. I'm going by how much resistance I feel on the
Yeah.
band. And your bands will slowly start to stretch out. The temperature changes, and you get tired, and all this is variables you don't want. And like that's why, like full butterfly can be intimidating, but it's actually like to me the next best thing to anchor because my
It
elbow
is.
is fully straight, and I can't go any further. You know what I mean? So that's how I like it, and I think I'm gonna keep going with it. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
more accurate full butter now than I was 3/4 before. You know,
Yeah. I would say to anybody who's shooting any kind of long draw, if you're not one of those guys who maxes out your bands, that full butter's the only way to go because like you said, you get that repeatable spot, and
Yeah.
you have to have that. I mean, you can't, you like I said, you can't be drawing to here and then the next shot draw to here and expect to have the same spot and get the same accuracy out of it. It just don't work. Al asked a really good question here. Be honest with draw. Mark's got a really good video on this. He's got one of the best. If you'll take and draw a centimeter distance in your on a piece of latex and draw it a centimeter apart and then lay it down on your ruler and stretch it out till it maxes out where however far those are, whether it be 7 centimeters or 5 centimeters or whatever, that'll tell you what your elongation is. And to max them out, you just divide that by whatever your draw length is. But go ahead, Andy. I didn't mean to stop you there. I just wanted
Oh,
to answer that question.
absolutely, guys. If you have questions on elongation and band tuning, like you got to go to ATO's channel first.
Mark,
And
ATO all day.
but one more little thing I was gonna just share that I shared with Carlo, and it made sense to him was that I'll set whenever I pull half or 3/4 butterfly, like after upon release, my hand goes like this. There's this big movement, and that's normal. But I feel like if I pull full butterfly, when I release, I just go like this, and my hand barely moves. It's just like good technique with short draw. When you don't want to
Yep.
go like this, you want to go like
Nope.
this. So that helps me a lot too. I don't think people realize like it's easier to have a very minimal movement release when you pull full butterfly compared to half or 3/4 butterfly, in my opinion.
That's one full butterflies is really good for that. That's one reason when I shoot a pickle fork, I shoot to here because I have that same feeling here. Like watch, I'll just shoot one off here. It's just like I mean, it's just it doesn't move. You don't really get that much of a movement there. But I I those guys that shoot it like right here, it's impossible to hold that because nothing's locked. See, when I'm shooting to here, it's locked,
Yeah,
and when
you're
you shoot
locked
to
in here.
here, it's locked. But if you're in that tweener stage, you're
Yeah,
you're not going to be able to do that. I mean,
right.
if you can, you've got some Popeye arms.
Yeah, and that's not like I shot good 3/4 butterfly, but
Yeah.
like whenever I when I shoot full butterfly and I start moving my arm, it's a big indicator to me that I'm doing something wrong. If I notice that my arm is moving around upon release,
Mm-hmm.
where if you do shoot 3/4, it's a natural. It's always gonna be.
Always.
So you don't notice it.
Because you're at that tweener stage where you're pushing and pulling all at the same time. Your muscles are doing both. You're using your pulling muscles and your pushing muscles, and you can't really control both of them at the same time. And that hard stop at either place, it just works.
Yeah, let me try to shoot a couple at 3/4, and then I'll shoot a couple full butter, and we'll see like if you can tell. Let me step back here.
Yeah.
I'll try a 3/4 here. Like it's not a
Yep.
ton, practice a lot, but it's more. And not that you
Billy,
can't.
thanks for stopping by, bud.
But like I said, you can hit like that, great, but don't have
Hmm.
that red flag that says you're starting to move your hand upon release. I actually brushed my face on that because I'm so not
Yeah.
to it. Anyway, now I'll do a couple of my full butter locked elbow shots. I missed
Yeah.
concentrating on showing you how I
Yeah.
strive to leave that hand up there until the ball hits the target.
Yep.
I'm under pressure here, but you see what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
it makes a difference to me.
It
It does.
does.
It's
It's
easy.
repeatable.
Yeah.
That's the thing with any of it. That's like Michael with his freaking. He gets up here and he does, because Michael, if you notice, Michael does not use his pointer finger. Michael uses his middle finger. When he draws, but he does the same thing every single time. He hits his spot. He stretches it. He comes up like this, and then he's down. I mean, it's just he's got the same thing every single time, and it's repeatable. And that's one thing that helped him out a ton on the knockdowns. That and just being acting a fool and being cool as a cucumber, is that it's repeatable. And he's at that spot, like I was saying, he's at that spot where it's right here. And if you'll watch him, his hand doesn't move either.
Doesn't
It's
go like that.
locked.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
no,
yeah.
he doesn't do the whole flick thing. And that's one thing I picked up from the tournament. That's why these are a little bit longer, because I'm doing the whole a little more full butterfly kind of thing. But I may wind up before it's over with just putting a little. I hadn't made up my mind what I'm going to do yet, but I may wind up doing the little bit shorter because of that, and before it's over with, especially for knockdowns when you don't really need that distance instead of going full butter. But
Yeah.
because full butter for me, unless I'm using Omega latex, I just about have to have 300 millimeters of most other latexes. If it's a because five stretch ratio, um, it's I just about have to have a template that's 300 millimeters longer. It just don't work.
Yeah. All right, let me try. This time I'll focus more less on hitting the target and just show like what I strive for in a release. You know what I mean? Even if I don't hit the,
Okay. Yeah.
like, let's see here. I go like this. See, I hit it that time because I was partially because I focused on. I do not. See, I get it. I got into this bad habit here. Is upon release, I would drop my hand as I was releasing and away, and that would cause my shot to go high left every time because I'm pulling away from my
Yeah.
face and slightly down a little bit every time. And that, that was throwing me. So I try to strive to like pull and leave that up there like abnormally long when you're practicing. Leave it up there for like a
Yeah.
second after it hits the target. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To build the muscle.
Yeah. ATO just said three-quarter guys must have issues with different ranges. I can't imagine that you're landing the exact spot every time, and you're not. I mean, it's unless you're maxing out your bands, and you're hitting that max spot every time. That's the and I don't when I'm shooting three quarters, I don't get a lot of band life. I mean, I'll get 350, 400 shots, but I mean, I'm tying bands quite often because I'm literally maxing them every single shot, and
Yeah, you got to
I just
all
I
or
think it's better. Yeah, it's all or nothing. Like you said, if you're gonna shoot long draw, you shoot the half. Where you can lock, or you shoot full butter. The three quarters thing. It don't work for me. I've decided that I'm not doing it.
I can do it
And yeah, hey,
pretty good.
Mark said something right there. But even max bands will stretch as they wear out. They will. They'll stretch more and more and more.
Yeah, I mean, like I can do it, and you know who else can do it amazingly to prove that it's possible is Chuck and Steele.
Yep.
Like, he can draw to any distance he wants to
Yep.
control his power and still be real accurate. But
Yep.
that's 10 plus
How
years of
many years of practice? Yeah.
right. and
Exactly.
and being an alien robot sniper that
Yep.
that he don't even need to practice and he can still take third. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Maybe
Yep.
it's we're not
I,
saying it's possible, but it's a lot harder.
no, no, no.
Right?
It
Right?
is. It's a lot harder.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder. You got to have. And I mean, we're using a floating anchor, so you have to have some way to repeat the same thing every time. You know, if you don't do it, you've got to find a groove. No matter what it might be. Like I said, Michael, he's got his. I wouldn't dare tell that guy to change his shooting. You know, and then Chucking, I mean, he does his, but for most of us, we have to have the repeatability.
Right.
Of being able to hit the same spot every single time.
One thing I will say, like even at full butterfly, there's room for variability. I've found because if you lean more, your shoulders come together more, and if you lean way back and shoot like 45 degree, you open chest up.
like Andy Lowe. Andy's just like,
You can still change your draw length by a couple inches,
you can.
closing your chest, opening your chest, but it's not nearly the amount of variability you have here. You know what
Mm-mm.
I mean? So,
Mm-mm.
yeah. Uh, I regret here that as I'm trying to demonstrate, I'm missing most of the targets. But hey, I don't have
You're,
to prove
we
now.
get it. No, you don't. You don't have to prove anything, And it's just like you said, just a demonstration of, what you're doing. I missed that one.
At some point, I would love to make like a concise video about everything I've learned so far. But it's tough to put that together and make it good. And you want that to be a shiny finished product. It's tough to put that all your thoughts into that one
It
video.
is.
It
It
may have
is. It's very hard.
several days or something because all those
Yep.
nuances. You know?
Yep.
And before this, I was afraid that I would make a how-to video and then bomb the tournament, and now I look
Yeah.
kind of foolish.
Well, I mean, now you can do it and and not worry about it because you know you've proved that what you do works.
Right. I mean, I am by far not the best shooter. There was so many more people there that better than me in the backyard than I can shoot in my backyard. Like, I want to
Yeah.
say record, like, I'm not being humble. This is the truth. Like, there's guys there that can beat my numbers in any day of the week when they're not hands down. And I mean, yeah, I'm a decent shooter for how long I've been shooting, but the real thing was I accidentally was in the best mood of my life, so nothing could bother me. So I just did good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's do it, man. I think he's talking to me. I will do it. I'm gonna work on it. I figured
Yeah.
people want to kind of hear about my experience at ECST first before I do. I've been one. I've always loved teaching people. Sharing
Yeah.
information, sharing what I know about. So I'm gonna do that eventually.
Well, that was one cool thing about us teaching Terry how to shoot. Was that she kind of got she got the best of like two different sides of it. And she got the how to kind of side from one of us, and then the she really could not have learned at a better time because you're not going to get that many good shooters in one spot again.
Right.
And it was really cool to see how you were teaching her, and stuff like that, because the way you were telling people makes a lot of sense. So I definitely watch some of your how-to videos.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, I do. I try. I think I do have a little bit of a talent of like explaining things as simply and concisely and like relatably as I can without being like intimidating or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, hey, listen, we are all struggle at the beginning. If you
If
miss, I've missed 10 million times. It's okay. You can miss. Don't put
all,
the
all you got to do is show them your little pinkies, they won't be intimidated anymore.
look. Look, how can you be intimidated by this? Okay, I'm just a
Yeah.
regular guy. I'm not, I'm
Just a regular guy with miniature pinkies.
yeah,
I think one of your pinkies is about half the length of one of mine.
probably,
I've got
probably,
some
probably one
long
quarter.
fingers. Yeah.
But I was going to say one more thing that I just thought of is like if you're teaching somebody new how to shoot, when they get a hit, celebrate it big time. Give them a high
Oh yeah.
yes, good job, that's
Yep.
awesome. Like you
Yep.
get that feeling inside, those
Yep.
tingles inside, like, oh, I like this, this feels good. If you're just like all technical about it and like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, you missed again, obviously that's not going to help. But
Yeah. No.
if you go over
No.
the top and say, awesome, you're a sniper, you know what I mean? You're a
Yep.
net, helps a lot.
Yep. Yeah, you just thought Terry won the tournament when she hit that first target out there, because me and you were just hooping and a hollering. Yeah,
Exactly.
that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it sure was.
It was definitely one of my highlights from the tournament. I'll always remember that one, you know.
Me
And
too.
so next year when she's shooting the tournament, I'm gonna be super pumped.
Yeah, I mean, I told her at the very least she can then partake in the fun down at the practice range with all the guys.
Yeah,
Hard, I mean,
yeah.
even if she
If
don't
she
want.
doesn't want to compete, that's fine. That's fine. But just get down there and shoot with us and have fun, because that's where the fun happens. The woods course at night and the practice range. That is where the fun happens. You
100%.
know,
Yeah, if
that's where memories are made.
I would travel twice as far and not even compete to go to the woods course for fun and the practice range for
Yeah.
hang with the guys and
Yep.
work that alone.
Yeah, it is. It's worth that alone. That's one thing that I just hate is that we're all so far apart, because I would love to have like a monthly shooter club or something like that, where once a month you just show up at the range, shoot the crap with the guys. You got a little woods course out here. You go out here and shoot for bragging rights and stuff like that. Would be epic.
That's why we need to spread the love of slingshot. So that's a
Yep.
possibility, right?
Yep. A hundred
Like
percent. 100%.
get so many more people into it so that you can find a little group of guys that can get together no matter where it's
Yeah.
5,000.
Yeah, I've actually got a buddy of mine at work shooting, and he shoots all the time, dude. Like, he shoots constantly. The next thing I got to do is teach him how to tie bands, because I've been having to tie a bunch of them for him. But anyway, um, like, the best feel good moment for teaching him was me and another one of my buddies was fishing one day, and the guy that was in here earlier, Loner Trails, we were fishing one day, and he was like, dude. There's somebody over there shooting a slingshot, and I'm like, well, I guarantee I know them. I have to, I was like, if they're shooting a slingshot around here, I bet I know them. And I walked to where he was standing and looked over, and there's Jake standing out there, by the water out there just shooting away. And I was like, man, that made me feel real good, that he was out there shooting. And
Yeah.
I've actually got one I was working on last night for my boss. My boss has asked for one, so I'm gonna fix him up a nice one,
Yeah, I mean,
a nice HDPE one to start with, of course.
but I got Brad from Northeast Slingshot,
Yeah,
Bub. Everyone calls him Bub.
bub.
But so like, an hour from me, and getting our schedule to align and travel an hour can't happen as often as we wish it could. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
if we
for
lived
sure.
only we lived 20 minutes or half an hour from each other, that might happen more. I would go
Yeah,
over there for work. Let me stop by for an hour, bud, or you come over for an hour or something.
yeah,
But it makes it tough. So we got to get more
it
people in.
does. Yep, we do. Take care, Mark.
Yeah, take
That's
it.
that's one thing I've been trying to do, and that's like everybody will figure out. They're like, oh, you making sell slingshots? Well, they'll be like, well, let me buy one from you. And I'm like, nope. If local people, your first one's free. I'll make you HDP one, hook you up with some bands and stuff like that, because it's like I would much rather do that, because I mean I've got tons of HDPE stuff in there. I can rip out a HDPE frame in no time, and I might have $2 or $3 in it. I mean, so it's like I'm not charging for that for your first ones and stuff like that. Now, when you go getting fancy and you want something else, that's a whole different story.
You want one of these? You can say,
But it depends on who you are. But
yeah. I mean,
but
if you become the champion, then Ethan will make
exactly,
me.
exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Chad. uh, but
But
I always give them the first one for free. Hook them up with some ammo and stuff like that, because if they're getting that, you put that first one in their hand, you give them some clay, you teach them how to shoot and stuff like that. Then the addiction starts, because once you shoot a can, you're hooked. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Once you shoot a can, you're hooked. I mean, that's still my favorite target is a can. I mean, I mean, I've got all these fancy targets that are tiny and all that stuff, and yeah, they're fun to hit, but there is nothing like smacking a can. It's it's just not the same, you know. And once you get somebody, show them that, hey, you know, you can hit a Coke can with this, and it makes a really cool noise, you know, they're hooked. And so I always try to, you know, hook people up, and, you know, and set them up with bands and stuff like that, and get them going, you know.
Right. Remove all the obstacles that are in their way,
Yep.
just getting started. And then once they get a taste of the slingshot drug, they'll be begging you for more.
Yep, they will. I mean, you know, they'll be like, "All right, what do I need to do?" Like Jake, you know, when he started, I had him going with some really lightweight bands and stuff that was pretty slow, you know, and dude, he shot for like 3 days, and I accidentally had a long draw band set in the bag. He put that long draw band set on there, and dude, he's shot nothing but long draw since. That's all he shoots. It's full butter. I mean, you know, he just shoots that all the time, and he was hooked on the speed, and you know, he's been slowly. Can we go a little faster? You know, and I've just been kind of upping his latex a little bit, and I think he's on .45 now, shooting the 16 to 10, and he's full buttering it with 8 mil, and I mean, he is killing with it. You know, he's got really good with it.
gonna gonna have to build a starship next to get a little more power out of it.
Yeah, that's what I. You've about maxed that 8 mil out. You're gonna slap the fool out of yourself with it. You know.
Yeah. Go up to some half-inch bowling balls like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, buddy, by the time I get some chores done here, sad to go, but we'll definitely do it again.
I understand. We will. We'll definitely do it again. I've had a blast, man.
And
Thanks for everybody.
all you guys out there who asked a question and I missed it, I apologize. I'm so bad about reading the comments, man. But like find through somebody else, find me, and I'll message. Through text, I'll answer if anyone wants to ask me anything. I'm pretty good about that, but I can't multitask.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. You know, thing just hit me up. I'm always willing to ask or answer any questions you got. Uh, thing or two. You know.
Yeah,
Andy, it's a pleasure. I feel like now these live mean more because we've met in person. You know, like because we really know each other. Uh, it's been a blast, man.
absolutely, man. I feel like, I feel closer to everybody, but I feel like you and me,
Yeah,
like buddies that grew up together or something. That's how I feel about you now.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. I feel like we connected pretty good. You know, I feel like we did we had a good time. You know.
all right, I will catch you guys.
All right, y'all take care. Tell Miss Terry to take care, and we'll catch you later, brother.
All right, bye, bud.